What is going on, guys? It is Daniel Wright, and you're here listening to another episode of Paving the Way. Happy Wednesday morning to you. Guys, I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving. For those of you here in the U.S. last week, I know we got a couple folks up in the Canada regions that they celebrated their giving of thanks about a month or so ago. But for all those here in the States, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving with your family, friends, neighbors, coworkers, whoever it is that you celebrate with, by yourself, your dogs, whatever you got. So I know I didn't see you guys on Saturday. I know last Wednesday when we talked, I said I would do my best to get in front of you, but we did have 9 people in town from Kelsey's side of the family, and it was a lot of fun. We had a full house, a lot of laughs, a lot of excitement, a lot of good food, a lot of good drinks. Like it was just a really good time. So I had thought about coming in and getting an episode recorded for you guys, but I said, you know what? No, I'm just gonna dive into this and really just enjoy this time we've got together. So, like I said, I hope wherever you were at, whatever you were doing, I hope it was enjoyable and you are back into the swing of things. I know that this time, right, in no man's land between Thanksgiving and the end of the year is really tough for a lot of people, especially from our professional lives and development side of things like that. And, I see a lot of like memes or videos on social media about, basically from, November 22nd to January 2nd of this year, and into next year, basically we're not going to be doing anything. Don't expect anything out of us at work. Don't expect any high achievements. Don't expect any progress. Like we're just going to maintain through the rest of the year. Well, interesting that we talk about that, because I'm here to tell you that, believe it or not, the outputs you get out of life are a direct result of the inputs you put in. Imagine that. It's pretty interesting, right? So the big thing that really wants me to talk about this is because this time of year, right, that Thanksgiving and on is, and I'm guilty of it too. Like I suffer from the temptation to, well, we've had a good year. We can put it on cruise control. Like, let's just kind of finish out what we got ready to go, and we'll just, recalibrate in January. And to a degree, there is some validity to that. Like, there's some truth to like, okay, like let's finish out the year, do what we got going, and then once January hits and we come back from Christmas and New Year's, that we'll kind of recalibrate into 2024. When, even though that's a valid thing to plan on doing and makes sense, what we have to remember is the results that we see in about February to March is going to end up being a direct result of the inputs we put in now. So one of the things that I've learned over the years and all of my studies and just learning to different speakers and from a psychological standpoint, statistics, things like that, is oftentimes we don't see the results of the work that we put in until about 60 to 90 days later. So everything you're doing right now, if we were to rewind time about 60 to 90 days, so that would put us back to, say, August, September or so, you're now seeing the fruits of that labor from 60 to 90 days ago. So then once you get to February and March, you're going to see the fruits of the labor that you're putting in now, the inputs that you're putting in now. So it takes about, like I said, 60 to 90 days for those inputs to really marinate. Now, yes, there are going to be some things that you can put the input in and see a direct result tomorrow or whatever it may be, right? So there's going to be things that do that. But from a generalized perspective of, people who say, well, I've worked out for a week and I haven't seen any results, or I've made a handful of sales calls and I haven't gotten any sales, or, I've tried, this new, educational routine to try and learn more, and I haven't felt like I've gained much knowledge. That stuff's not going to happen overnight, right? You're not going to eat a Snickers and gain 200 pounds. You're not going to lift a weight and lose 200 pounds. It's stuff that takes time, and it's repetition, and it's consistency. And I'll be honest with you, this philosophy, this study that, you see the results from 60 to 90 days ago now is something that really keeps me on my toes, because I'll be honest with you, there's days where I think I'm like, man, like I don't need to go to the gym today. Like it's all good. Missing a day isn't going to change the end of the world. Well, you're right. Missing a day at the gym isn't going to change the end of the world. Over Thanksgiving from Thursday to Sunday, all I did was weighted vest walks. I didn't go to the gym one day and I didn't gain any weight. I didn't eat great. I didn't drink great. I didn't gain any weight. So it didn't change the end of the world, but I have to get back into the cycle, back into the system, the routine, the process that I follow in my day-to-day life, because in 60 to 90 days, if I don't get in that, if I lose that momentum, then I'm not going to see those bad results, whether it's, maybe weight gain, maybe it's, lack of energy or, anxiety or things like that, that going to the gym and my physical fitness helps mitigate. I won't see those changes until later on. So knowing that, it keeps me in check for saying, man, like I shouldn't change my habits now because I like the results I'm getting. I like what's happening in my life, personally, professionally, whatever it may be. I like what I'm getting. So I should keep doing what I'm doing. Right. So as we sit and think about that this time of year, this Thanksgiving to end of the year, these last, month or so of the year, it's so easy to say, man, like I've worked hard all year. I've done good. We're at a good point. We've grown our business. We've exceeded our sales goals. We've done X, Y, Z, blah, blah, whatever the excuse is. You've got them. I've got them. You've got them. Whatever the excuse is, throw that shit out the window. And you need to be focusing on what you want to be seeing in February and March. Because if you get to February and March and you're like, man, why don't we have any work on our schedule? Or man, I just feel like I'm just, out of shape and, lethargic and this and that. Well, what were you doing right now? What were you doing when you listened to this podcast on this day in November? Because whatever you were doing around this time consistently is you're going to be seeing the direct result of that in February and March. So that's why, in the networks and the groups I'm part of, we're surrounded by a bunch of freaking stallions and Clydesdales who just want to keep pushing, keep grinding, keep growing. And we don't settle for good enough. We don't settle for it's okay. We don't settle for, well, I'll pick it up later, right? The job is never done. The progress is never finished, and some people say, well, man, that's going to be a really exhausting life to live. Well, you're damn right it is. And excellence, nobody ever said achieving excellence was not going to be exhausting. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tiring. It's going to be a routine. It's going to be monotonous. It's going to be doing all the shit that no one else wants to do so that you can achieve the things no one else can achieve. But that starts with what you're doing now, what you're doing tomorrow, what you're doing next week, next month, because that's what just builds on itself. So all the inputs that you put in are going to give you the direct outputs that you receive. If you don't make the sales calls, you won't get the sales. If you don't put in the work at the gym, you won't get the physical health you want. If you don't put in the time to learn and to read and to gain knowledge, you won't gain the smarts you want to gain. So it's very simple of what we have to do to get the things that we want to get. So if you're not getting the results that you want, if you're not seeing the outputs that you want to see, that life is supposed to give you, really take note on what inputs are you putting in right now. And in addition to that, what inputs were you putting in 60 to 90 days ago? Was it, it's the end of the summer, man, we got to take it easy. We want to have fun. We want to go on our vacations. We want to live it up at the lake or the beach or this or that. We're going to take it easy because it's the end of summer. Well, now all of a sudden, you don't have any work on your to-do list. Now all of a sudden, you gain 20 pounds and don't know how it got there. Now all of a sudden, you're falling behind all your peers and the people you look up to and you're running the race with. So take note of that. If you're not getting what you want now, what happened or what changed 60 to 90 days ago? What inputs changed 60 to 90 days ago that sent you down this route? But on the contrary, if you like what you're getting now, like I said earlier, I like the results I'm getting now. It's because 60 to 90 days ago, I was putting in the same freaking work that I am now. I was putting in the effort. I was putting in the hours. I was putting in the calls, the learning, the, trying to just advance myself in every way I possibly can. And I'm at where I'm at now. We're having a record-breaking year at the company. My marriage is freaking fantastic. It's not perfect. Nothing's ever perfect, but it's great. My relationship is wonderful. My knowledge is continuing to grow and expand, and my ability to think about things in a way I never have before is continuing to grow. But it's all because of the stuff that I've been doing repetitively, the inputs I've been putting into my life, putting into my business, putting into my marriage, putting into my relationships. All of that stuff is giving me the direct outputs that I now get to enjoy. So don't get it twisted. You won't get an output that you want without an input that you have to put in. All of your outputs are a direct result of the inputs that you put in. So take note of that this time of year, because as you're setting up your new year, new me, your New Year's resolutions, all the crap that people do every year and don't change anything, think about that. Why wait till January 1st to start your new habits? Why wait till January 1st to become the best version of yourself? Why wait until January 1st to take your health seriously? Why wait until January 1st to take your role in your company, in your business, or in your whatever it is that you're doing on a daily basis seriously? You owe it to yourself and the people around you now to put in the work, because they're counting on you. And if they're not going to get the results that you owe them, you're the only person to blame. So this time of year, yes, I love spending time with my family and friends this time of year. I love eating the great food that we all make as traditions for Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and everything like that. I love the Christmas parties. We're going to have a banger of a Christmas party for the company here in a couple of weeks. We're going to have another banger of a Christmas party at our house for all of our friends and things like that we put on every year. Like, we enjoy the time of year, but we don't veer from our expectations of ourselves. We still put in the work. We still put in the hours, because we know that what we're doing now, we're going to see those results in 60 to 90 days. And if we screw off now, if we slack off now, and we don't put in that work that we know we owe to ourselves and to all those who count on us, then it's going to be ourselves to blame. So I encourage you to take a few minutes to think about that. What are you putting in now that you want to see in 60 to 90 days? Where do you want to be in February and March and going into, next year as things get rolling and we get through the holidays? Where do you want to be at? Well, what needs to happen now to make sure that occurs? So a little bit of wisdom for you on this Wednesday. We'll call it a Wisdom Wednesday post today. But I just really hope that everybody around me that's listening to this, that's wanting to really just try and grow and achieve the things they want to achieve in their life, don't wait until January 1st to start that shit. Get on the wagon now. I'm here with you, so we can do it together. We can hold each other accountable, stay consistent, be reaching for the stars, and just help us continue to pave the way for the other people that count on us. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Plan on seeing you guys on Saturday. As always, let me know if you need anything in the meantime.